All right.
He was in love too. There's nothing, what do you say? There is nothing more than 100 men. No, there's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do.
Now that it's not African American month, let me tell you that my number one most hated song is Africa.
White dude sung it.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
probably
has
why I hate it,
nothing to
actually.
do with black people. But it's
Either
a
way.
great song, classic.
It's not a great song. Stop it. Coming to you live from We the People Podcast Network. Welcome to this week's Politically Correcting Podcast
Thank you, Austin.
and your weekly dose of common sense. My
I can
co-host.
always depend on the atheists.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you, our producer. Oh, let me go through it. My co-host, LaBelle Lewis. Our resident liberal and atheist and Satanist, Austin on the ones and twos.
I'm not a Satanist.
And my very special, illustrious guest this evening is my very own father-in-law, Carlos Santos. Thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And enjoy your night tonight, because there's not many times that people get to come on and be able to be themselves and speak the truth with those who are able to listen and not worry about it. Everyone get your drinks out. Let's toast to the ability for us to have a drink with another person while having open and honest dialogue and always striving to walk away, still bring friends. Salud.
Salud, Laima. Mazel tov.
All right. Ooh, yeah. That's a good one. Verse of the week.
How many cows is in this shit right now?
Oh my God. Who counts calories on blue light? Philippians 4:8. Verse of the week. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. If you have ever heard about The Secret and how we need to focus on what we want to bring to existence, this is exactly what is being described. Focusing only on the good. The opposite side of that, though, is not focusing on any of your attention and actions on the negative. Here on the Politically Correcting Podcast, we talk about social and political issues of the day in order to make you aware of them and to be an example of how you too can have an open and honest discussion without fear of what others may think. You all have seen that the media has attacked me, have attacked the podcast, but yet we are still here and we have yet to be canceled. Why? Because they are focused on the negative while we focus on bringing light to darkness. So keep shining, everyone, because you're fearless. If you are listening to this, you too should feel confident in speaking up always. Why? Because as long as you focus on what is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, and anything excellent or praiseworthy, the world will open up and revolve around you, just like it revolves around me. Carlos, you're a preacher, so you must have loved that one.
It was great. Good.
Philippians 4:8 there. Different take on it. I first want to
Aren't
say
you special to have a father-in-law that is a preacher?
I'm special to have a father-in-law.
That too.
But on top of that,
Yes.
a man of God, a preacher, and just a good human being. And this man like performed down at our wedding, not for our wedding, but in Mexico. They had a karaoke time because we stayed at we did an all-inclusive resort for our wedding. And they had karaoke night. My wife had always told me that, he used to be in a band, he used to perform, yada, yada. I was like, all right, that's cool. Whatever, Puerto Rican Latin bands, they're kind of like, to me, a lot of them are the same. This man went up there and performed, not just like sang, I'm talking an actual performance. And I looked over at my wife and I said, you didn't tell me this. You said he was in a band. You didn't tell me he was a performer.
He was the band.
Oh, dude, I was blown away. I appreciate those who are artists because they take something and make it their own. And man, he absolutely electrified the crowd. It was amazing to see. So I am blessed in so many different ways, but truly blessed to have a wife. Number one. Number two, well, have a wife that puts up with me. And number two, have an amazing father-in-law who is a Christian man.
Well, you got to go all out. I won first prize.
He did win first prize.
First prize.
I'm not sure what the actual prize was.
Well,
I gave it all out.
Oh, me. I'm your first prize. I got it. We do have to start off the podcast by saying happy Women's History Month.
Oh, we
Oh,
right
nice.
into another one? Just
Yes.
go
Yes.
into another history
we
month.
ended the Black History Month.
Oh, okay.
We're going to the Women's History Month. We're going to start it with an amazing video so that all the women out there, all the women can feel comforted knowing that there are women out there who represent them in this country.
So black women get 2 months then.
Well, wait for it. Go ahead. Play that video with.
I don't feel no ways tired.
Had to go.
You
I've come
got
too
me.
far
Oh my
from where I
God.
started from.
Look at the
Nobody
pandering.
told me that the road would be easy.
Oh my.
I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
So from Black History Month to Women's History Month, just wanted to congratulate all the women out there for the strides and the amount of work they've put into this world to make it a better place so that a man can become a woman and that a white woman can pander to
Mhm.
the black folk.
And do it very, very ignorantly.
That's super
She
ignorantly.
even keeps a bottle of hot sauce in her purse.
She does, allegedly.
No. She said
does?
that.
I know she said it. I know she said it, but I guarantee if you go to her purse right now, there is no hot sauce in there.
I don't know, man.
You think there's hot sauce in her
she's
purse?
From
Man,
Tennessee.
I don't know about that. She talks a lot, but I don't know if that's because of the hot
country.
She ain't got no hot sauce in
No.
her purse.
sauce. Is it really Women's Month?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to say something about that
Go ahead.
first. You know, we gotta be personally appreciated of these women because honestly, on the truth that men, we are more crybabies than what women should be. You know,
It's so true.
when they get the flu, we get the flu, they cover us. We ask them to make them some Lipton soup. We ask for give me some medicine, cover me up in bed, take care of me. They get the flu and they do all that, take care of you, and then they also take care of the chores of the house. So you know, we gotta give them their props for their month, and I want to be the first one to say that. So
Oh, y'all are covering y'all behinds
Nah,
right there.
nah.
I don't get the flu because I don't get vaccinated for the flu.
Oh, well, thankfully I'm single, so I don't have to adhere to any of this
Oh,
right now. I
okay.
can kind of be, very
A third party.
all the way.
Woo!
Austin, how do you feel about Women's History Month coming up? Not coming up,
yeah,
we're here.
Yeah, no, it's my favorite month. You
See,
know,
there you go.
Oh, you
Pandering.
are
yeah.
announcing
Oh,
his
wiped
next
up.
political
Oh, my
run.
yeah, yeah,
Austin.
absolutely.
He's
I
running.
know. Listen, I will
Listen,
give him
women are the
props.
backbone of our
man,
society.
Somebody
Or-
got food waiting for them at home. This is disgusting.
You hear all this? Oh, good lord.
Jeez Louise.
So
Does the the transgendered women?
no, don't even jump into that.
But what's his name? Caitlyn Jenner won Woman of the Year. So is
Yes.
he or
She.
she?
Woman of the Year.
Yeah.
What about the other 100 million women we got?
No, not good enough.
Well,
Not good enough.
because men are the best at
You
everything.
mean the dude that was on,
Everything. We're better at being women than women are.
that's the guy that was on the Wheaties when I was young, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Kate-
that guy.
his name is Caitlyn now.
Her name.
No, his.
Okay.
His.
I'm respecting the individual.
You can. I'm not
well,
playing that
wait,
game.
at the time though, it was his, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But does he still have his meat?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
So then he's still there, bro. Like you can't stand at
But
the podium, with your meat hanging and saying that you're a female, and then you win Woman of the Year. I think.
Oh,
that's
you,
kinda
well, you
unfair.
can say that.
Are you trying to tell me that I can't just put on makeup and insert some fake boobies and turn into a woman?
Nah, son.
Oh, okay. Well, you know who doesn't look like a woman? Lori Lightfoot,
Who's she?
the
Chicago.
about to be former mayor.
that lady or dude or what is it?
Well,
today?
she's lesbian, so
Oh, she is. First of all, if she can get a chick, anybody
can get a chick.
man.
Oh,
Anybody.
good lord, she is disgustingly, disturbingly gross.
Yeah, I'm like still trying to figure out.
And
how.
yes, I'm putting my foot on the neck at this point because I'm so glad that she lost. I am so glad that she
Yeah.
came in third. That means that there is
She came
some
in third?
semblance. Yeah, she came in third. I can't even believe she came in third. But that means there's some semblance of sanity in this world. If she would have stayed as mayor of Chicago, even though it's not my city, it's not in my state, it's not. It screams, hey, we can just be whoever, act however, and we're going to keep getting voted in because of our whatever reason.
Now, is the focus on her of her ugliness, however y'all say it, is because of politics, or is because we have a problem with her?
Oh, she's a terrible leader. She's not even a leader at all.
See,
She blamed racism for her losing. That's what
she sure did.
Yeah. I just like seriously.
See, I was being completely like immature. I was talking about her look. She's disgusting.
I agree.
Okay,
I mean,
now we're talking. As long as we don't mix it with the politics, and we can't, you know.
Well, he was talking
We
about
can do
politics.
both.
I was looking at looks.
We can do both.
Now we can combine the two and say
can
she was
combine the
disgusting all around,
Yeah.
all the way around. Yeah, absolutely. She lost her re-election. Thank goodness.
Wow.
So now it
back
comes
in
to a
the-
runoff for the top two.
Now, back in the day, right, there used to be something about your appearance, right? And that's what, kind of brought people to you, right? Folks gravitate towards.
Back in the day, there was
Right.
something to say about someone being taller, someone being better looking. You
Right.
tend to get the job that you go for.
Right.
But this kind of, I would hope this shines a light on for all women to say it doesn't matter about looks.
Yeah.
And she's short. I think she's shorter than me. So it's not
right.
about the height either. So all of those, the ceilings for this is just out the window. If she can become mayor of Chicago as a straight up Marxist, as a straight up
Oh yeah.
liberal freaking quack, anybody can be mayor of Chicago.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can connect because as I've always been ugly, but I never have a problem with it. When I became a pastor, all of a sudden I'm ugly, I'm fat, I can't sing, none of that stuff. It seems
Who
like,
said that?
Oh, once I became a pastor, it came down. Trust me.
It's probably all, it's probably all the Satanists out there.
Well, so hold up. That's
Whoa.
what I'm saying.
Whoa,
So
whoa, whoa. First off, not a Satanist. Don't glance in my direction. Second off, you look too tailored over.
Satanist heat. dog.
This
Yeah,
is
right.
this is his month.
I always have your back. All right.
All right, thanks.
I always have your back.
I'm
Just so you
starting
know.
his month. Check that out. Yeah, but after I became a pastor, it seems like that's where all the problems came. And, I just walked on and moved on. And you can hate on me for being Christian. So I look at the point of Lightfoot in that same sense. Maybe it's because of the politics as people really going to attack her. I mean, however, you have to put your money where your mouth is. You can't talk one thing and do another one. And that's a big issue.
That is absolutely true.
Yep. Where I see that
Your
has a
words
problem.
need to match with your actions.
Yeah.
That's where I see her problems.
Well, I see a lot of problems with her.
Well, and that's
Yep.
And she's also disgusting. Local news. You see they're stealing dogs now?
Dogs.
Dogs. A lady had her dog stolen in my district on Ridgeway and Lake
you saw that
Avenue.
too, yeah.
This lady goes to talk to her, I guess, and talks about her dog, whatever. And the lady snatched up her dog and got into her truck and started driving away, acting like there wasn't cameras all over the place that would pick up what truck it was, the license plate. So, but I'm proud to say that dog owner jumped on that freaking driver's side and did not let go for like a quarter of a mile. She held on. She's like, no, I'm getting my dog back. She did get her dog back, mind you.
Her.
Good for her. But there's very few people who would, jump on a moving truck to save their dog. But this is how far we've gotten. Show that video that you showed of earlier that also happened in my district over on Dewey Avenue. Check this out. This is happening all over the place.
What store is that? What store was that?
It looks like a 7-Eleven or something.
It's a stolen car.
No,
Nah, the
No,
7-Eleven
it looks
don't close.
smaller
It
than-
looks smaller than that.
yeah, it looks like a bodega.
Like one of those quick fills, but the thing about this store, it doesn't have all those lights that everyone else puts in the city.
This is why they have those yellow poles so that people can't do that. Look at these dummies. Look at these dummies.
But this is what's happening all over the city. Bring up that video I also sent you of the young kid that beat up the teacher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, when did you send me that?
Damn it, in the same email that I sent all
The
pictures of.
video?
Yeah.
Hold
It was a
on.
link. It was a link that also had a video in it. This kid had his Nintendo Switch
Oh yeah. Yep.
stolen, or not stolen, I'm sorry, taken by
away,
the
yeah.
teacher. And this child beat the living bejesus out of this teacher.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It wasn't in Rochester, thank God.
Well, maybe dude was like on the final level of Mario Kart and he tried and he was almost through Star World and then
I appreciate, being the antagonist here, but he, oh my goodness, if we can pull up that or put it into the comment section so that everybody we can pull it up here. Yep, that one right there. Is everybody able to see this?
She's walking away with it.
Yo, this dude was crazy.
Not just that.
Oh,
Look at
Don't
everybody. Look at
ever
everybody.
touch my
Sorry, I just
switch.
restarted. So, because
Okay, so everybody can see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I
there we
was
go.
almost about to
But
be.
look at everybody
Bowser.
around, just watching.
watching.
There's a man back there, and this young
look
lady
at
goes
that.
there, tries to stop him. Look at him. Haymakers. Look at a guy.
He's just
going.
walking.
He's like a Marine that's just chilling.
Dude, come on, man. Dude, stop.
That's a fullback and a halfback.
He yelling systemic racism and
Injustice.
opportunity and my grandma picked.
That's what's happening to teachers
That's just
in this
ignorant,
country.
bro. That's bad.
I'll be out in half hour.
17-year-old. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Look at him.
felony
He's gonna
aggravated
cry.
assault.
He's gonna cry in court. I didn't mean it.
The parents are going to say, he was such a good boy.
He was just playing Zelda and she just stopped me.
Zelda. But that's what's happening all across this freaking country. How do you feel about that as a pastor, especially a pastor that your church is in the middle of it all? How do you feel about seeing something like that? And where do you see where we as a city can try to combat that?
I know that the city is trying to work with these kind of situations, but these kids are starting to. The first person that should show respect and all is the parents. And years ago, I remember when the courts turned over a decision where if a parent was to spank a kid, the parent goes to jail. And this,
Yeah.
I'm talking probably 24 years ago or something
Yep.
like that.
I was the last generation of kids spanking.
You got the last whooping.
I was the very last one.
Bro, I
kid,
think
good-
you probably went into it. You had to cross that line.
Well, I had my parents on, and my dad straight up said I whooped that ass.
Yeah, I was about to say.
My
ain't
dad
nobody
said I whooped
stop
that ass.
busting
I'm like,
that
"Damn,
ass."
yeah, he did.
Well, I can't talk much about them. I got bailed out by my dad just so he could whoop me.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. Oh
There
yeah.
you go.
But
But do you think that's happening with these kids? Do you think that these kids are getting butt whoopings?
they're not getting them.
No.
They're not getting them. First of all, the parents, they're getting like all this kind of help. The parents are disfocused on their kids. I mean, schools became a babysitter. Then you got a lot of parents who try to work and they can't because of their kids. So there's a lot of things that the programs that come involve where the mom is not having much time with the kids. So when a mom at home has a kid at home and sees the changes and starts punishing them and stuff, they can report this and get in trouble.
Yeah.
The honest truth is that I see that the city is trying to do something about it. We do not want this happening. No grown-up want this going on. But we got let's talk right to the point. So much drugs out on the street that disfocus parents and they don't know what their kids is doing. So by the time they grow up, they end up going with a group that they feel the love with and they feel connected to do this. I can't talk bad about them because I was there. I was one of them. I turned into 23 years of cocaine heroin use, and but I found my time and I picked it up. It'll be 23 years, the 23rd of this month. That's my celebration.
Congratulations.
But these kids are actually going through that now. The more hanging out that's going on, they're taking power from the police officers to be able to break up groups, being able to correct kids in the street. Yeah, we had some problems in the streets with police officers, and some of them, and trust me when I tell you. I mean, I felt before being unfair to what happened with me with any police officer, but at the same time, not all of them are the same. So because a few are bad ones, the power's taken on. These kids are going at it because they know today. The thing is that they know that they're covered.
Yeah, they're not going to get in trouble. Look at the kid in Spencerport. Anne Marie is absolutely right. This happened locally here where this young baby here, he's saying is another dude. It wasn't me. It was another dude. And someone just recording it, laughing like it's not. Watch this is a grown man here.
Oh. Poor kid.
Can you imagine that child?
Yo, no lie. To be the father of the young child, and then the recourse of going through the school, and the school is going to hit you with so many. Well, we talked to the parents. We reached out to the parents to how we do things here. We mediate between the parents and the students. All right, we try to get to the bottom of the situation, and then we look for a resolution.
Yep. And they can't give them out of school suspension anymore because every kid must pass. That was a Republican law, mind you. That was George Bush that put in, no child left
No
behind.
child left behind.
Right.
Thanks, G-Dub.
Yeah.
Yep.
The one guy who we allowed to sign off on anything educational was this guy. The one who said, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, you fool me, you can't get fooled again." We let that guy do that.
But I would prefer a president who forgets his sentence and still can kind of finish it to a president who just can't
even
put together a sentence at all.
They both need to go.
Or a senator, the one that got freaking voted in down in Pennsylvania, Fetterman. Remember him?
Yeah.
Fetterman, the what? Munster. Yeah.
He like the Munster.
Yeah.
He checked himself into he got checked into a mental hospital because he has mental issues now.
But then they said that before, Dr. Oz.
He had a stroke. So he had physical issues and now he has mental. Now just think of this. All right. Think about this. If I were to go through some medical trauma and I were still in politics and my wife Edna comes in and says, "Oh, he's still good. He can still run." Wouldn't you at some point be like, maybe he should focus on his health?
Well, that is similar to what President Woodrow Wilson or McKinley, one of those presidents was pretty much a vegetable. And the wife was, in the room with him, pretty much acting as president, saying he's still alive, but he really wasn't.
So this is the problem that I see is that in politics, and I see this from the inside as well, it's all about power. And it's like, we don't care if you are a vegetable. We don't care if you're in a mental institute because I don't want to say suicidal because I have no idea how Fetterman is actually feeling on the inside. He's just going through some mental issues, which is tough because in my world as a military veteran, we know now that mental health is very, very, it's an important issue. Before it was drink water, drive on. That was everything. Drink water, drive on. No one cares. You're not paid to think. You're not paid to freaking, worry. You're not paid to be concerned. You're paid to fight the enemy. That's it.
Yeah. Andre said Fetterman checked himself in for clinical depression, which stemmed from his stroke.
Thank you, Andre. Clinical depression. That's serious. Clinical depression is very serious. And yet his wife went on vacation with the kids.
It didn't happen overnight though. You were depressed.
No.
You were depressed while you were campaigning.
They promised us that he was fine and that as time went along, he would get better.
So who are you believing? Who are you believing at this time?
Nobody.
No.
Oh, it's
the answer is nobody. I'm believing my eyes. I'm looking
just
at the guy and I can see that guy cannot.
Have we
The
not,
Eagles are better than the Eagles.
Yeah.
have we not been living these days about on lies?
Yeah.
I mean, what makes the difference? I'm going back to these kids. You want to speak truth? Let's speak truth. See, we all depend a lot on the government. The government depends a lot on prayers.
We
and
don't.
churches.
Not all of us.
A lot of they depend a lot on prayers, and we all depend on prayers. Here's the situation. I went to one of the city meetings regarding this, and there was a lot of pastors. There was a lot of people in the meeting speaking about this, and that was when that little 10-year-old got shot near Nestor Street.
This is with the mayor.
Yeah.
Yep. So they did the news did a couple of interviews on me, but I wanted to go in the meeting first. When I go in the meeting, I noticed that the pastors be like, "Yeah, we got to put the police department into they got to take courses, the government, we all got to take courses." This is what all the pastors were saying, and they were all saying the same thing. But hold up, well, hold on. Now let's talk about the spiritual warfare of Rochester. All right, let's talk about this. Because when I went in that meeting, they all said the same thing. We got to get together. They still getting together. Still getting together. All right. The thing is that it seems like everybody wants to be a leader in the spiritual part of Rochester, and then because one gets it, the other one doesn't want to be there. Who wants to follow and be a real? And I told that to the mayor's right hand. Okay, so everybody has to be taught. Now, who's gonna who's gonna teach these church how to work together.
Mm.
Because we gotta put aside Muslims, we gotta put aside Catholics, we gotta put the devil worshipers, we gotta put sorry, not you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna start your month off good.
Yeah, there you go.
Appreciate it.
Your month, Women's History Month.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Thank
who
you.
gives them classes?
Right.
Who gives the church classes so that we can work together and you can put aside who you are at that moment so we can pray together, because prayer is the power of the city.
Preach.
So who? And I told that guy, who teaches the pastors?
So my question with that, because
Come on.
I am a believer in prayer. So let me premise this with that. At one point, because you know that you're not supposed to worry, you're not supposed to live in worry. At the same time, I pray every day and I pray for the city. We're supposed to put our faith and trust in that God will handle everything, right? But at what point is it we've prayed, now we must take action, finally take action. So at what point do we put our faith in prayer, but then also convert that into action? Or is there, where do you see that as a pastor? Where would you tell me? Because the Bible tells me I need to sit in prayer. I need to go into a room, close the door and pray. But at the same time, I feel as though I must perform some actions to bring my city, or help, and in some kind of way to bring my city to some kind of semblance of discipline and order. So where does prayer end and action begin?
Okay, would you help a disorganized organization?
No.
All right, then. It has to be something organized. And in order to be organized, it could be just 10 people together. If they're organized, something is starting to happen. And we're putting the trust in the people who look good, who got caddies.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Look good, got caddies, got the suits and all this, without knowing that we got a lot of people that really are out there working with kids and people.
Hurting.
Look, I just laid a whooping on a kid playing basketball. That's how it is. I challenged them and I do something different. I was at the corner today talking to the guys, and one of them was telling them that they slapped somebody because they were going in the parking lot of the church. I said, don't slap anybody. It's the earn of respect when you get to the people. How do you talk to them? What is it you want from them? They do not want to hear the word of God. Then hold up. Let's put something aside. I know what I want. I want to preach that word. I want them to accept Christ. But you don't do it because it worked for me. Is it going to work for them? We have to put aside our beliefs for a minute, knowing that the Holy Spirit is going to protect us in everything we do. However, once you get to this person and you become his friend, guess what he's going to do the day he needs to talk to somebody? He's going to come to you. That's what's not happening. Rich pastors, they already hit me anyway. Because it's the truth. It's the truth.
Go ahead, speak it.
There's no way to move forward if you don't let your personality go at this time. You have to know when to shut it off so that somebody can receive something. And when I went to the meeting, they look good. I was the only dirty one with my clothes on from work and everything. And I didn't
ready
care.
for that photo op.
Mhm.
I think I just to your point, and I've seen this for a while within a lot of the pastors within the inner cities. They've disconnected themselves from their actual job, their calling, right? Is to, I mean, of course you have the church, but you have to go out.
Shepherd.
Yes, you have to go out and get to people. You have to reach the people to bring them in. And I don't think that they're doing that. And you could tell by the Rolexes on the arms and the nice suits. I was just at a discussion forum. It was like a historical thing.
You weren't at it. You were.
No. This is different.
Oh,
This is
okay.
totally different. This was like
He did his own.
this was back
Continue,
in
go ahead.
December. And they were talking about history and stuff like that. It was in a church, and they had a preacher that was there. And the first thing that I recognized, number one, was his suit. He had gator shoes, and he had a thick watch.
But it's not bad to have
Not
that.
bad. It's not bad.
Okay.
But when you hear them speak and how they don't, assume any type of accountability or also take ownership of what their job is, they're pointing the finger at other people. To me, I'm like, it just turns me off automatically, because at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, what are you doing though? You are literally put in this position of power to actually reach out to these folks within your community. Pretty sure the church that he's probably associated with, within a mile radius, people have been getting shot and killed around there multiple times, so there shouldn't be a stomach that is empty and a family that is not able to get helped within a mile radius of any church.
Good
in the
call.
city.
Let me
call.
tell you something on that one, because
Good call.
I'm exactly with you, where I've pissed off churches before, because when it came to COVID, before COVID, when it came to young mothers, single mothers who could not afford childcare, who wanted to go to work, I asked, why are our churches not becoming the hub of childcare? Allow these single mothers to bring their kids to that church and say, look, we're going to charge you half of what this other entity costs. And your child is going to be raised in a Christian organization, or Hindu or Muslim or whatever it is. You can bring your child to this church. Your child is going to be raised with these values, and we're going to charge you less than this childcare, because we know we're going to get paid on the back end from the county, because the county does pay for that stuff. I got a lot of backlash from churches because they're like, well, we shouldn't become childcare centers. Well,
They don't want to work.
well, maybe you should, because that's where people are hurting the most. And if you're able to raise a child in the belief system that you believe in, that mother will tend to go where that child says, I want to go to church on Sunday at this location. And so therefore you've now increased your possible 10%, donation levels, because you've helped the most amount of people that you could possibly help. See, me personally, I'm a big proponent of giving as much as you can, helping as much as you can, bringing the most value out to others as much as you can. And then it'll just organically come back to you, because that's what God said. God told you to challenge him, literally challenge him in your giving, because when you give, he's going to give back tenfold.
Actually, he said, test me and see I don't open the door
There
to
we
heaven on your
go.
name. That's what he said. Test
me.
me.
That's the only time that he allows you to test him. The only time in the entire Bible where God allows you to test him, because every other chapter he says, don't test me.
But in all the real, that's the situation. And people are they don't want to go back to churches, because they see it. Once they start learning people and seeing that the church has folded themselves to themselves, and the way they hear things today, and the way they preach your word. Because when you got to understand, I'm gonna tell you, right, my ministries is based on one verse. Ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right.
The biggest book of the Bible is Psalms, and it talks about your strength when you feel down, everything, all kind of. It's a good book of counseling, but it finishes off with one verse. At the last one is chapter 150, verse 6 says, "Everything that has breath shall worship God," and this is where it goes on. The church believes that anybody under sin cannot worship God. Well, I want to tell you about me. March 23rd, 2000, I was coked up for 4 nights without sleeping. 3 a.m, I started crying and praying, and I could feel the voice saying, you can't worship God in this condition. But I just kept pressing and pressing. You can't worship God. I kept pressing. Guess what happened? I wake up next month, this month on the 23rd, it's 23 years clean. What happens? That they teach that you have to go through them in order to receive that word. And that's not true. We all have the same right to go in front of God and ask for forgiveness. Right now, you probably don't go to church. You probably go to your worshiping, right? And
I love it. I can't wait for
He's got me
Austin's
pegged, I tell
response.
you.
I cannot wait for Austin's
We're gonna
response.
have a Satanist on at some point.
No, I am ready for the conversation, because I love the conversation.
so this is what happens. It doesn't matter who you are. You probably hate church and all that stuff. But the moment, and you could talk bad about pastors, the moment one of your kids that you love to the end, the moment he falls, cracks his head and blood comes out, what's the first thing comes out your mouth?
Are you okay?
Dear Lord.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, you just come on, you see what it is. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God is the first thing to come out.
Yep.
So, however, as much as you don't want to, when something happens, your mind automatically goes to the only person that they know that can do something about this. My job is to tighten that relationship with them, with God. I don't care who you are, what you are, where you came from, what you did last night, what you're planning to do. At the moment is what it is. Pastors don't see that. Pastors has a law that this is what God wants, and that's it.
I'm gonna take it further than that because it's not just they believe that you can't, find God when you're sinning. They don't believe that God is our shepherd. We talked about this last week, where the one sheep, right? The one sheep that goes astray, while 99 of them go on the path that they're supposed to go to, the shepherd is willing to give up the 99 to go for that one sheep that went astray. So, as pastors, your job is to go after that one sheep, And the problem that I have that you brought up with the pastors that are, they have the nice suits, they have the gator shoes, they got the watch. Look, I get it. Everybody wants nice things. I'm not against it at all.
So do I.
And I believe that as a man of God, if you have been able to provide, God will provide back to you. But in this city, that's one of the first things I look at is the financials of the church. When me and your daughter first started dating, we went to multiple different, we went to different churches. My first thing was, what's that church financials look like? How much are they giving back? That's what I wanted to see. How much are they taking from me and giving back
to the community?
To the community around them.
Come look at my books.
Not just the people who go to that church, but the community around them. So if I gave, let's say, to make it even, $100, and they took $65, and they had paid out $20, that left $15 for the entire community. That's not right to me.
Right.
And I feel as though there's more to that. There's more nuances to that, because there's people that can take that in and also provide their own tithing to the community. And I think, what are your thoughts on tithing? Because my problem with tithing is that people feel as if they have to give it to a church, when to me, tithing could be any nonprofit, anything that gives back to the people, which brings them towards the belief of God.
Well, if let's say you came to my church, you liked it, you spent a couple months, you'd be like, I want to be a member of this church. If you signed the dotted line and one of the rules is we tithe here, then you should tithe to the church. It's up to the church to do what it has to do.
They got to pay the bills. I get that.
And but there's a lot of churches out there who they give out, they do their own festivals. They bring kids, they give out food. I mean, I could have had any store in Rochester to put our gift shop. I put it on Clinton Avenue. And we talked about this. I put it there because that's where I'm mostly needed. I have my church in the back. So as far as tithing, if you belong to a club and you signed it, then you got to abide by that. Now, if you don't tithe, then that's where you're breaking your promise and it becomes a sin. Now, if it doesn't say you have to tithe. Now, as far as me, a person should have his place, his home, his house, everything should be in his place. Why give when your kids are hungry or something like that? However, why do we find ourselves in this situation in the first place? So when I had nothing, I gave from my heart. When I had nothing, I gave from my heart. Today, man, I came with nothing. I'll tell you, my daughters lived through that bad life with me. And yet I got the best daughters and the most prettiest girls in the world. And I'll tell you that they're successful. They're successful. Why? Because there were certain things as a father, I would not permit of them. So
talk about that, because Edna talks about that all the time.
Oh,
How did you raise them as daughters? Well, what were like your laws, your rules?
We don't want to get away from that tithing thing. I was young too, and I knew I come from a family where my dad was a woman's man. My dad had some word, boy. My dad, he was a singer. He was constantly singing. He had girls my father. Woo, that was Jody right there. But I seen that. And when you really love your kids, there's a certain protection that you use of what you have to keep it against them. So I was very strict because two things. One is that I knew how it worked, how everything was working, especially at my time. We say today was bad. Back in that time, I say it was bad. I know how things work, but at the same time, I used to get high too, and I didn't want to have to worry about my girls. So I made sure that they stay off of all this playing around and other stuff. However, it was great because they did good. I used to tell them things like,
listen to this. I want to hear this.
I used to, but see,
shout out to Jen Nardone. You see that comment right there? Take a look real quick at that comment that Jen Nardone just put.
Who put?
Jen says, "I need a better relationship with God." That's huge, right there.
That's big. I'm
That's
glad.
huge.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know Jen. I went to high school with Jen. This is not calling out Jen. This is amazing to see that
So-
someone feels that way.
So
I
somebody
appreciate
feels
that.
that way. They go to church, then all of a sudden they don't want to go no more because the church did their certain things that they do.
Mhm.
You have to be free. Be yourself. And whoever she is, be yourself. Move forward and let the Holy Spirit direct you. You all right back there?
Well, isn't that
Well, it's a
is-
relationship with God. It's
Right.
your relationship with your Father.
Well, you talk. You trust. Just say it. If you ever talk something's wrong, be like, that chunky guy on that podcast said that if I talk to you, you answer me. Trust me, he'll answer. Not that chunky guy. I don't want to walk out of here with a branch in my back.
Yeah, you're good, buddy.
No, talk about some of the things that you as a father raise your daughters with.
But this is the thing. I was very strict with them. I was always making sure, but it was the love that I had for these girls.
Because you knew how much bad there was in the world. I feel as though.
I knew where I came from. I knew what was going on back in those days. You had, let me see, what was one of the big things that Arthur Shawcross grabbing women,
that was big.
killing them. And I know it was anybody, but they could have grabbed anybody. So I knew the neighborhood I lived in and all that stuff. So I was making sure. However, I didn't need anybody to take them nowhere because I was the kind of father that would tell them, all right, girls, you got 20 minutes to pack up a bag and we leaving. They would not ask where we going. They start running around the house. Everybody looking for clean clothes, back in their bags, and we would go to New York. We'll go to Cedar Point or something like that. I always came up with those surprises.
She loves that, by the way. She does love that.
I feel like they're like that. One day they called me, they were here. The next day they called me, they were in Mexico or Jamaica.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
They love traveling. But you're absolutely right. And one of the things that I know that Edna was taught was that if a man touches your knee,
I was gonna get to that. I
Go
saw
ahead.
a lady with a hunchback, and I'll be driving by. If I see a lady with a hunchback, I'll tell my daughters, "You see that lady? She let somebody touch her knees. You girls don't let nobody touch
There
you."
you go. That fear.
If I saw bumps in the face, like, you see that person, they touched her neck or something.
Mm.
You see that, they touched her butt. And the crooked leg women stuff. Everything, a patch eye lady walking down the street, I would say that because she looked at them. So I made sure.
Mm.
So, I mean, I remember the last thing that happened. We got Tasha a car for her job. And she said, "Dad, can I go out?" And she told me she was going out. And I told her, "Remember, I got eyes in your car." She said, "That's it. I'm not going." Bro, my daughter flipped over me. I said, "Go." She said, "No."
Uh-huh.
She never went. But maybe something was wrong.
That nothing was wrong with that because
I'm messing with you.
Edna's biggest thing is like she's like, I never had boys over. Never had boys over. She's like, I would never even think about escaping the house or thinking about it. She was like, my dad literally had eyes all over the place. And she would tell me all the time, she's like, you remind me of my dad because you go out some places and everybody knows you. She's like, and that was the fear that he instilled in us was that everybody knew him. So therefore, if we were out and about, he always had eyes on us.
But the key to that was the love that I felt. I love that.
Because you were protecting them. You weren't.
Then I had another daughter that we would get when they let us permission to get it. She used to come over and she used to come with bad habits. But the girls were always kind of the ones that would blend her in regarding, and they were close. So it was a little tight. It was sad that when I wanted to get her and I wanted to adopt, take her over, her mother didn't let me, but it was all three girls. I was the same with all three and they were amazing. And today, man, I'm excited. Things pay off. So churches and tithing, it's the law that's there. Well, we don't want to lose. I want to be clear about this because we're talking about these young kids doing this stuff.
Uh-huh.
And churches, if a kid came in my church with hat backwards or anything,
Pants down to their knees.
Women gonna be put your pants up. They expect that.
Mhm.
But you don't have to take off your hat. Maybe the kid doesn't smell good. Maybe you don't have to take off your jacket. It's okay, sit down. Let's be. Just now, I seen a video where pastors, 3 young kids went into church with guns. That was off today. I don't know if you saw that.
Mm-mm.
They went with a gun, and the pastor walked to them. And the only reason they respected because they knew that the pastor was always in the street saying what's up and how you doing and stuff. You see me here, I'll talk smack and I'll challenge him. I'll be like, one time there was a couple of kids. So I said, well, why don't we go do something? Y'all play basketball? No. One started talking stuff about tennis. I said, Tennis. I said, you suck at tennis. How can you play tennis? You know, kids smoking weed. I got you. They said, what play you? I went to the court. I was there waiting for a while. They never showed them. All of a sudden, here they come walking. With a little dog and one with an old tennis racket. And I started winning. I'm good for 10 minutes. All right. I got to beat this kid in less than 10 minutes. I had the lead of, yeah, I'm going to win. This kid started coming back. And I'm like, oh, Lord, I can't lose because I already made a promise. If he loses, he was going to move me to church on a Sunday. And if I lost, I was going to take them both to Popeyes. Oh, I don't want to lose this. I'm going to take them to Popeyes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the love in me. You know, and he started coming. He was coming back and talking smack. And the happier I got, I was getting mad. Oh, you know, it started raining. I'm like, yes, Jesus.
Well, that's when you use the Lord in your,
Right.
to your advantage.
He never went to church. We went to Popeyes. Once in a while, I'll see him. He'll be like, what's up? You know, still in the corners. Nothing I could do. But I gave him something good that he can remember me for. So this pastor must have done that when these kids went in to rob that church. Again, the government depends a lot on it, and I trust it. I trust that that's the right thing, you know. But they depend. They're looking at the unseen. They look at what looks on the outside, how good they look on the outside, how smart they look. It's like going to a counselor that never done drugs before. You know how smart they look. So these are the guys they're leaning on instead of go on Clinton. One more thing, and I'll shut up if you want me to. I'm okay.
Ooh,
You're good.
You're good, man.
One more thing. Yeah. See, this is what happens. Everybody comes on the show. They always want to.
Yeah.
Mayor Lovely came to a church on Clinton when I had the church over there. I remember that. Churches had different things. You see 2 pastors, 3, and Mayor Lovely had something on Clinton. Boy, there was no place to park. And one pastor, me and my wife standing at the door, one pastor came out the pickup truck and he shut the door and told his wife, hurry up, the cameras are there. And I was like, wow. And I know him. I'm not going to say now, hey, God bless, how you doing, pastor? Hey, what you doing? I mean, that's what I'm saying, the unseen. But because she was there, they all come.
Yep.
What about when she's not there?
Yep.
What about the people I found? What about people that I got a Narcan at 10 o'clock at night? See, they don't see this. So the people who really want to make a difference tends to not be the ones that they count on. And I admire our new mayor, and nobody knows this, but the day he was elected, that he was in the Hyatt, that's where, I don't got my Hyatt. That's where I worked. He was leaving. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I laid hands on him, and I prophesied over him, and I prayed for him real quick, and he moved on, and once in a while I see him. But the key to everything is that
no one else has seen him really either.
The love of wanting to make something happen with change. So that's where it is. How do we come together? How do he let that go? How do I let my religion, because the religion thing, how do we work together as a church so that we can be a part to help the city? How? That's
values.
I told you. I already told you.
So speaking of values,
talk to me.
Let's talk about the legalization of cannabis. How do you feel about that?
It's okay. I mean, it's just like beer. Beer back in the days was illegal. And they made it legal. I mean, everybody has to know the responsibility and what they can consume and not get stupid. However, people going to McDonald's and see somebody all high and you ordering food for somebody who's high and eating the fries and stuff, that kind of things. But that if they legalize it, hey.
But do you not see that it's weird that they're legalizing cannabis while banning menthol cigarettes?
Yeah, it's weird.
At the same time, I remember when Obama put that to vote, they closed the doors and they didn't ask the public to vote. So I believe if the public is the one that's going to go through this, everybody in the United States should have had a word to vote on that.
You're not going to solve This is
a New York law, by the way. This is not a federal law.
This is
Governor
government.
Hochul.
Yes, this is government overstepping their boundaries and trying to pretty much, dictate what a person can and can't do.
I honestly don't even understand what they're expecting to fix with this.
They
said they're going to get hooked on menthol. Is that what they're saying they're going to do?
Cancer. It's probably cancer. But
flavored cigarettes. Maybe that's the issue.
But then the reservations is about to go crazy.
Right.
They about to get paid.
So we're going to enrich the
Senecas is going to be going crazy.
Man,
Seneca cigarettes is about to go through the roof.
they already are.
Go buy stock in Seneca if you can.
Are they publicly traded?
I don't
think
know.
are.
They should. They should go public.
But that's my problem with the legalization of cannabis is that if we're going to legalize cannabis, which is, hey, do what you want with your own body. To me, I do lean towards libertarianism, where it's like, do what you want because as long as it doesn't affect me, I don't care, because you have to answer to your own higher self. Let's just say, cannabis, fine, cool, have at it. I'm tired of smelling it on my way to work in the morning or something, you know, just driving around, smelling it all over the city. I'm tired of that. Everywhere. I was, oh my God, I'm waiting for my car wash, and I'm just like smelling like,
oh yeah,
I had to be behind the one.
That's when you're going to, that's where
right. But banning menthol cigarettes to me is the most ridiculous. I don't even comprehend what the mentality behind that is. And this is the problem with politics, is that how far removed are you from the real world where you're going to ban menthol cigarettes, but I can be driving around next to someone that's smoking a freaking pipe or smoking a blunt
with kids in the car,
with kids in the vehicle, and that's okay.
It's not supposed to be okay. That is against the law.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be okay, but also banning menthol cigarettes is 100% banning it. So it's definitely not okay.
It is. It is. I think,
which makes it a federal offense.
Yeah, I think the government puts themselves in, you know, these conflicts within just these social situations where they try and solve every problem.
Yeah.
There's no solving. They ended up solving nothing at all.
Solving that doesn't.
But that's
like
what that's.
No,
but again, it
solving.
makes them look like they're doing something. It makes her look busy. I don't know what Hochul has done at all. That is, a matter of fact, I don't even know what Hochul or Cuomo or the governor before him has done that you can have some sort of tangible, you know, result from their decisions.
COVID shutdown.
But what tangible result was that was good for the people? It
definitely stopped the spread.
It
definitely
did?
within 2 weeks.
Yeah. But that lockdown lasted longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah. Right? Oh well,
it's still on. They still have the health emergency, right? Isn't that still going on?
So, what percentage of people do we have? A percentage of people that smoke in New York State?
What? Weed or cigarettes
or the cannabis? Yeah.
I mean, everybody smokes weed.
98.2%.
So that's the key. It's all about the votes, man.
I smoke when I need to smoke or when I feel like smoking. I don't smoke and drive though. Like those days are way over. I've done it before. Me personally, I think I'm a heck of a driver. Period. No matter what the influence is, but
I can say right now, there's 0% chance I'd be driving.
0% chance. Yeah, you couldn't do it.
Well, you remember Fidel Castro? There was a time where
who's that?
Fidel Castro told the Cubans, you know, hey, y'all want food? Okay, ask God. And they started praying. Nothing happened. He goes, okay, now ask Fidel.
I actually like that. I actually like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, now that you ask God and you don't see him, now ask Fidel. Let's see if he get you that food.
Yeah,
dang, that is grimy.
And what you think he did? He gave. That's how he got to take over a lot of good stuff.
Well, we're definitely not going to uplift Fidel Castro.
No,
of course
look
not.
At the numbers.
That sounds like an awesome thing to do right there.
We can look at the numbers.
Well, hey, whoa.
Very Satanist, very Satanist thing to do.
Let them know, Austin.
No, I'm not even a Satanist.
Yes. There's only so much you can take over there, Austin.
You know who are Satanists?
I tell you.
You know who are Satanists? Teachers who groom kids. Let me tell you right now. Start that conspiracy theory music. Teachers are definitely not grooming our kids.
That's a lie.
Pull up the New York Post article.
Let's put the hat on, bro.
Let's read this. Teachers are definitely not. Nope, not that one.
Ooh, that
New York Post article. I sent it in.
We already knew what that guy was
in
about.
The email. Oh my
goodness. Is it a bad thing to, like, when you see somebody like a male and you like, yo, this dude really looks feminine? Is it bad to assume that person's gay?
He's bi.
So what? But isn't that mean? Isn't you still gay? Like once you crack the seal, you're gay, right?
It's not.
once you pop the cherry, you gay, right?
This is so terrible to say in front of my father.
the
Go
cherry
ahead,
is
go
pop.
for it. It's okay if you done it. I love you anyway.
This was the ongoing joke in college was it's not gay if you're the one coming.
Oh,
Okay.
that's super gay.
That was a joke.
That was gay.
I know.
That's gay.
I didn't want to say the jokes. My father-in-law is right in front of me,
Nah, son.
but that
he's
was
on
a
the
joke.
show.
I think that's where that thing came up. Back that thing up. Or something.
Back that.
There you go.
Man.
That's where it came from.
Girl, you look good. Won't you back that thing? Oh man, I know what you and I wasn't talking about that.
So
I
here's
hope
an
not.
article regarding teachers definitely not grooming kids.
Ooh.
New York teacher forced girl age 9 to use male pronouns, causing suicidal thoughts. It's a lawsuit. Let's go through the article because I feel as though this article showcases a very competent parents who will say, look, this is just the way we raise our kids. Also, if they feel this way, hey, all right, we're cool with that. But let's read through it. So that way you will see exactly what I'm talking about. A Long Island teacher forced, in quotes, a 5th grader girl to go by a male name and pronouns, confusing the child so much that she had suicidal thoughts. A lawsuit alleges.
Allegedly.
Deborah Rosenquist, a 5th grade teacher at Terryville Road Elementary School in Port Jefferson Station, started calling the 9-year-old Leo and using opposite gender pronouns towards the beginning of the 2021-2022 school year, according to a lawsuit filed in Suffolk County Court by the child's parents last month. The parents say they were only clued in about what was happening in January 2022 when the school principal called them, telling them their child, referred to in court papers as AV, had drawn a picture of a girl writing, "I want to kill myself, and I feel sad like a lot," the filing claims. The principal also informed the parents that AV had even met with the school psychologist, telling the mental health worker that she was confused about her gender identity, the court papers say. Despite Rosenquist, aged 62, having referred to the student for months at that point as Leo, it was only during the January 27, 2022 call that the parents were asked for the first time if this name was okay, the suit claims. That's the teacher right there with the colored hair. The parents were supportive as long as it was AV, the name that they used, who had requested the name change. That's what the parents said. As long as it's that child, as long as my child requested that name changed, I'm fine, whatever. But they had doubts she had asked to be called Leo to identify as a boy. In the past, she had been called that by a friend, but in reference to her astrological sign. AV's parents also became concerned when they saw complaints against Rosenquist on Facebook. So the teacher had complaints from other parents on Facebook where they saw complaints against Rosenquist on Facebook, claiming the teacher had been reported for abuse, but that the school district had done nothing about it because she was tenured, the suit alleges. During a deeper dig into the social media comments, the parents found that Rosenquist didn't follow the school curriculum and taught her students about transgender people and told kids to quote unquote, try being gay or try going by the opposite gender, the suit claims. The educator even made her own LGBTQ plus book called I Am Neither for her 9 and 10-year-old students and assigned a book called When Aiden Becomes a Brother. We can continue going on through this, but
That's gross.
we can sit here and say that teachers aren't grooming our kids, but those parents had a very sane reaction, right? They aren't parents that are super conservative, said we teach our kids about Christian values and there's no way, but no parents said, look, if my child decides to go by that, fine, whatever. But the teacher forced it upon the child. A grown-ass teacher forced it upon the child.
Do you think this teacher has a gay pride flag hanging in their room?
100%.
Isn't that, first of all, that's a super red flag because that flag itself represents someone's sexual orientation. Like you are you are letting everyone know that you prefer to have sex one way.
Preference.
That's your preference. So what are you telling a kid? Like a kid goes in, instead of seeing an American flag, which it's pride over the country, you're seeing a gay pride flag, which is pride over what you like to do in your own bedroom. So it is, to me, it's like it's promoting a sexual act. And I think that is where grooming comes into place, because it's not like these kids don't know what this flag represents now at this point in time. I think every kid can recognize that flag as, oh, that flag has something to do with my choice of who I like sexually, right? So that opens the door for any type of question to where a kid can ask a teacher, and a teacher is going to openly explain to a kid, well, if Larry likes Johnny, it's okay for Johnny to kiss Larry and Larry to kiss Johnny back if you want to.
Oh, it goes way worse than that. They talk
Well,
about
I'm just starting there.
Yeah,
But they
I
go
hear you.
further. It just opens the door, and it opens Pandora's box for this kid's, curiosity. And then where is this kid gonna go? Well, this kid probably has a cell phone, a tablet, or access to some sort of computer. He's going to just type in Larry likes Johnny, and then all of a sudden Pornhub comes up, and before you know it, you got a whole nother problem on your hands. That's grooming.
It's just funny you bringing that up with that big old thing sticking out.
I gotta keep this here for a reason. Anytime we play that music, it's
gotcha.
It's that time.
So yeah, you're right. Going to another point with the same thing. All right. My wife has a doctor. It's a female. I see a male doctor. They have an ID that identifies who they are. All right. I mean, everybody has their choice of being what they want to be, and I'm totally with that. I'm the most down-to-earth pastor.
Talking to your microphone.
I'm sorry. Everybody has the right to decide who they want to be. But let's talk about when they're working with others. If there's a little girl that goes to an appointment, I suppose to think that a mom would like to see a woman check the daughter for a physical.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's somebody gay, should that person be identified as a gay person so that mom knows this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost the same thing that's going on. Everybody has the right, but a gay doctor could be just as good as a regular doctor.
Sure.
And you got to admit that, even better sometimes.
Yeah.
So
I do not care what my doctor's sexual orientation is.
okay.
I personally just don't care. Nor would I ask. I personally, if I have a female doctor, I think she judges me based on my thoughts on the mask, because I complain about it every single time I go in there.
But you're a grown man.
But I'm a grown man, right?
So now you got a kid. It's
Right.
the same thing with a teacher.
No, I would prefer the same sex for my child, so that they understand, like,
We're
these are the stages of.
right. So we're talking about teachers. It's
Right.
the same thing. It's almost the same thing. Would you like to know what they teach? Because if you got a flag in your room, definitely there's the person straight up with who the person is.
It shouldn't be in the classroom.
No,
That flag should not be in the classroom. So in my personal opinion, I don't care about your sexual orientation. You're here to teach me about math.
Yeah. Well,
or not me, my child.
But that's the problem. They're trying to expand upon the sex education.
But having a blue line flag, they would get fired.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a fair ball game.
Yeah. Just don't have any flags. How about that?
No,
the American flag is the only flag they're allowed.
But that's what, when I was growing up, when I was going to school,
Satanist flag.
and starting out, and from first grade all the way up all the way up until we stopped saying the Pledge of Allegiance within schools. That was the start of the day, and it was a reason. The reason is to, of course, you have to have pride within your country. If you're going to have a strong country, the people have to be prideful where they come from. The gay pride side of it, I think, again, if you are proud of being what you are, that's fine. Like, there's really nothing that says, all right, you get a kudos for being a heterosexual, right? Like, being a prideful heterosexual is like, why do we need to be?
Now, actually.
Right, exactly. So why do we need that?
How dare you?
Right. But now they found a way to infiltrate just our own common sense at a young age, to where when these kids become adults,
Grown. Yep.
their ability to kind of to see what's important as far
Make
as
their own
reproduction,
decisions.
right? Making more humans,
Mhm.
keeping the overall population growing, bro. Like,
well, I mean, there's the local guy who got in trouble recently. Speaking to the chat there, I have reached out to that gentleman who is the local chapter person. Vicky, I believe, was the one who commented on. Yep. Chapters Gays Against Groomers. I have reached out to that person. I've constantly tried getting that person on the podcast. For some reason, it's been a very hard.
come on the show.
Very hard to get that person
Pause.
on. Down below under Vicky's thing is Anna Marie. Usually the mother goes in with the child at the doctor. Well, at a certain age, the doctor asks the parent to leave the room as they talk to their child, their 13-year-old child.
Yep.
And that 13-year-old child is then asked questions about their sexuality. So the child has to give the doctor or the parent the okay to stay in that room as they talk to the doctor. They have to physically, the doctor will look at the child and say, are you okay with your parent being in the room during this conversation?
How do we get to that? Who came down with that decision?
You know who
that
was?
ruling?
The same people that Malcolm X said should not be listened to or followed. Who Malcolm X's family is actually suing for $100 million for wrongful death.
They should be suing for more.
I believe so as well. That was good job on that one. They just threw that one in there.
Good one.
Let's bring up the local person that is getting in trouble for being a fucking pedophile.
Ooh.
I can't say it any other differently.
There you go. That dude.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Look,
Substitute?
Yeah.
I can't understand how.
Aaron says she ain't leaving the room. Her kid 15.
Right.
She ain't with that.
This was a Rush Henrietta substitute sent sexually explicit messages via Instagram DM to a 16-year-old student. 16-year-old student.
Well, teachers been banging students for quite a long time on the low. They've been doing it nonstop.
Right. So
even within my own kid's school, not too long ago, like maybe 5 years ago, this teacher, she looked squeaky clean. She was a music teacher. She had a husband that actually worked in a school. She banged a 17-year-old transfer student.
Well, to be clear, 17-year-old is legal.
Doesn't matter.
I know. I am very much against.
I think
if you have teen in front of your age,
they're all off limits.
Wrong.
They're all off limits to me within the school, within the high school.
It depends who you are.
And even within college, I'm not even like, yo.
But he's not getting in trouble. This is not a federal offense. This is a slap on the wrist.
Well, he's a black gay dude. That's probably why.
He's bi.
No, bro. He cracked the seal. He's done. You're done.
Well, you don't know if he actually cracked it. Unless you were involved.
He got cracked.
You better put your hat
on. He got cracked.
Yeah, 17 is legal in New York State.
Can I just say about these articles we've pulled up here, this one and the New York Post article that you just
which New York Post one?
The one about the groomer teacher.
Hold on.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly, yes. I will say that the reason these are articles is because they're outliers. They're not the norm. They're not.
So if they're an article, they're an outlier?
Yes. Otherwise, you don't write about. There are 212,000 teachers in New York State. And there's not articles about every one of them because this is outside the norm.
Fine. Continue.
Right? Like it's not, it's newsworthy because it is not normal.
Okay. Continue.
And so I don't know that I agree with a lot of the generalizations.
Well, the fact that
are drawn from
this teacher was sending sexual messages to
and
a
that's wrong.
16-year-old is wrong, right?
Right.
And then the other teacher was forcing a different gender on their student, which is again wrong. Right.
And
even a Satanist agrees.
Right. And that's why it's an outlier. That's why it's a newsworthy.
But no, that's not why it's an outlier.
Yeah.
Those are just the ones who got caught.
Yeah. I disagree with that. Norm side.
I think,
but I will agree with what you're going to say. Probably next is, well,
if it was common, you would get caught. You know, like there.
But do you not feel as though it's becoming more common?
It is
lately?
becoming more common.
Not to the extremes of
if that was the
You know.
case, when you go on that website, that application, you see all the
Which website?
pedophiles
Oh yeah.
that are around your zip code,
Who used to work for Disney?
right? And then when you look at the Hilton principal that literally abused
For years.
for years,
Mhm.
so many kids
That's the problem, is that it's been happening for years. And
right?
kids were very scared to bring it up.
Right.
And this is for the same for young boys.
Yeah.
Like any older woman that's a teacher who decides to have sex with a young boy, that's disgusting.
That, I mean, just depends on what.
No.
It depends on the teacher.
No.
All right.
But what I'm getting at,
Yeah.
what I'm getting at with all of this though, you look at the stuff that's going on with the Vatican and a lot of stuff that's coming out with the priests within that realm. All right. And you hear a lot about them trying to normalize pedophilia and say that it is kind of like just an overall condition, right? That to me says that, all right, these articles that we are getting, it is a lot more common than, to Austin's point that this is just out of the norm. I do think that there's a huge problem within the schools because that's the last place you're going to assume that a kid will be abused. And also your kid is not going to tell you everything on a day-to-day basis. There's probably kids that are walking, well, adults that are walking, and not telling anything. Like you would never ever know that they were abused. And
because the expectation is when you send your kid to school, they're not going to be
right
talking about this or acting it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it goes further than that. I think that this the conspiracy theory goes further than just the teachers grooming our kids. I think it's not just grooming our kids to be of this LGBTQ plus community.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's sexualizing everybody.
Can I put this on too real quick?
Yeah, sure. Put the music on as well. It's just sexualizing our children at a certain age to the point where they grow up to be very sexual in nature. Let's bring up the last months because it's the again the
real quick before we do
American History Month.
Before we do,
go ahead.
I got the hat on.
In the meantime, go ahead, bring up that.
I do think the people who control our media, who put this stuff out there, this is a diversion to keep everybody away from that Charlotte's Web in Washington, those people, those elites who are connected to Epstein, and all those folks who we're waiting for this list to come out that have been accused of dealing with Epstein, these high profile people. You're sending folks a different way so that they won't keep asking questions to Bill Gates, who's squirming in his chair about his relationship with Epstein.
He's not squirming.
Well, I mean, we had dinner and it was a conversation and that's all it was. And, and it was just that. Lies.
You hear this?
Just lies.
I heard that. I did want to clear something up. He did say the Vatican we're talking about pedophiles and all that. I want to correct that. It's not only the.
Not only them. No, I only say that first because they are up there as far as
it's everywhere you see religion too.
Yes, but they have been paying out
and non-religion.
They've been paying
Satanism
out millions in lawsuit money. That's the only one that has been talked about. But we go all the way down to the Baptist preacher, or the deacon, or those folks within just the Christian portion of the churches. Yes, they have been doing it ever since way back in the day. So no, I'm not letting anybody off the hook.
And talking about pedophiles, I was in prison from 2007, 2009. I was in a federal prison. Nowadays, those pedophiles don't get their own rooms. They're not locked up apart and everything. They walk within everybody and you can't touch them.
Ooh.
Yeah. You can't touch them.
You can't.
Well, they're going to find a way.
I was there. They're okay. They walk like nothing. They give classes, and
all they gotta do is say,
everybody's a prisoner.
Identify as a woman and go to women's prison.
Well, in that case, back in the days, they used to chop their fingers off and all that stuff. Oh, back in the days, a pedophile really got it bad.
Yeah, shank them up.
They really got shook, but that doesn't. You don't see that anymore. They got
the what I was speaking about before, what was like sexualizing children in general. The NAACP presidential award winner.
Oh God,
Dwayne Wade.
What a sellout.
Gabrielle Union.
He's such a
How in the world?
Disgusting.
I'm asking you as the person
black man on the show?
who represents all black people in the entire country. How did you allow your NAACP to give them the presidential award for what? I want to know for what what did they earn? How did they earn the presidential award from the NAACP? I'm
Well, first and foremost,
freaking crazy.
First and foremost, we all know that one of the foundations of any type of communist regime takeover, it is the sexualization of homosexuality
and the emasculation
of men. And NAACP has been a tool for Marxism since its inception back in 1909.
Allegedly.
It's not allegedly. Their president was W.E.B. Du Bois, who was a admitted communist.
In case YouTube wants to cancel us.
Oh, you're right. I got you. That's just going back to YouTube. So the NAACP their job has been to dismantle the traditional values of the African Americans since that time. And this right here is pretty much the cherry on top. They have successfully destroyed what it means to be an African American male, alpha male, right? And our role within just society as potential leaders for men. And Dwayne Wade is the biggest sellout of any athlete in history. He's a sellout, and what he did to his ex-wife pretty much painted her as a mental health nutcase to get full custody of these children. And this is what you do. You're like borderline ready to cut your how old is this? How old is Zaire?
They're them.
Whatever his name is. He's not even like 13 yet.
I was gonna say 14, maybe.
And you're already to cut his meat off like in next year. You know what I'm saying? So I have no respect for the NAACP. I definitely haven't had respect for them. They are a plant for whatever agenda is for African Americans, whatever agenda it is for the country. Everyone's looking at.
How does this have to do with the
Nothing. It has nothing to do with it. Nothing.
They dedicated the award to the daughter and the LGBTQ community. You can't tell me that you're not installing.
Pandering.
So how did he get the award? Why?
That's what we're trying to. They got it because that's their job. Their job is to emasculate black men.
We started the show with this. What about what Bruce Jennings was it?
Caitlyn
Jenner, whatever. I mean, we started with the
Bruce,
show.
yes.
How she get the woman? I mean, how this guy gets that? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
look how far we've come. We've got a man that took on the Female of the Year award, and now we got a black family who gets a NAACP award, and they dedicate it to the LGBT.
And the president
it normalizes it. It makes it seem as though that if a man, especially a black man, who opposes this for his son,
right,
you are now looked at as a toxic individual.
Yep.
You are looked at as the problem.
Not only that, you are ostracized from society because if this person received an award for supporting their child as a what is a trans person? They are transitioning from one sex to another. They used to be called transsexual. You are transitioning. So answer me, what is this child transitioning from and transitioning to? The problem is they won't answer that because there's no such thing as gender. There's no such thing as sex. They're not transitioning from one thing to another. They're just being who they are. No. You're transitioning from a male into a female. That's what their daughter is doing. I'm sorry. Well, fine. That's what their daughter is doing. How do you? I still don't understand why you receive a presidential award for that.
Yeah. Well, you don't.
There was no other black person in this country who deserved it more than them.
The award is literally a diversion. What they wanted to happen is what happened. They want to normalize this and emasculate the black male.
And they've been doing it for decades.
They've been doing it, but this right here is taking it to the next level. And you know the irony of this young man. is that he had a girlfriend.
Right.
That's a
Right.
lesbian,
Right.
allegedly.
Right.
So confused. Just like, is it an act? Is it a show? Or is it something that, you know,
What's good
the
is bad.
cabal made Dwayne Wade do so that
Bro,
he can,
when you get
you know,
freaking offers
stay in line.
through the roof to be in some magazine as a 13-year-old child who is questioning who they are,
Gotta
and
pay
they're
the
like, "Oh, we're
bills.
gonna put you in this article. We need you to wear this. Oh, you have a girlfriend? We need you to bring that person in as well. We're gonna take these pictures, and then we're gonna give an award to your parents for accepting that."
Listen,
I ha-
Daddy's jump shot's not working.
I have a great ability.
Caitlyn Jenner did go through the final surgery. It looks
I
like.
have.
Oh, he did?
I
He
have
cut
a
his
great
meat
ability.
off.
So that's a she at this point, right?
Man, that's
no,
crazy.
bro. Nope. Sorry. You just a dude without no wang.
I have a great ability to let people be who they are and who they want to be. But when it comes up to awards and stuff like that, you have to go back.
Yeah.
I mean, but what is bad is now good.
Yeah, don't force it.
I I saw the thing and I knew for years that our president now, the one that got voted in, he took his best girl, one of his friend's girls. He married her.
Mm.
And then he lied about it. I mean, that we can't do nothing about that. It's
There's
done.
nothing that he didn't lie
However,
about.
Who
There's
we
nothing that
talking
he
about? We talking
didn't.
about
Biden. Yeah.
Well,
But-
she likes Kamala's husband.
Yeah,
Ooh,
straight kiss on the
kiss
mouth.
they had.
man, I don't know what happened. I don't think that was meant to be.
Oh no, that wasn't a slip up. That was like,
That was
ooh,
we've been here before.
ooh,
That's what that was.
Let me get that, boo.
They have an upside down pineapple in their front yard.
Let me get
Somebody
that,
said-
boo.
No, but seeing the things how they really are, I don't know. What's bad is good, and clearly, USA is being deceived. I mean, there's a lot of things that they bring up and don't bring up, and the lies and
And this is okay to talk about. This is the problem, is that there's so many people out there who are afraid to talk about these issues because they're like, "Oh, I don't want to be canceled." Well, you're going to be canceled because you don't stand up for just speaking about it and just talking about it. Look, there is no, there is a truth to all this, right? These kids are hurting, obviously, because they feel as if they were born a different gender, and in a much higher percentage than ever in history. And you know what the number one group is that feel as if they were born a different gender? Females.
Mm.
The girls today feel as if for the most part they were born a male, and so therefore they need to transition into it for the most part.
What about the vaccines though that everybody's taking? Where again,
Everything is depopulation. I'm just saying it right now.
That is true.
Everything is depopulation.
But just from a lot of other scientists and doctors out there, you know, the research they were doing with the frogs that, I don't know, with whatever water that they were in, you know,
comfortable kiss,
whatever toxins was in that water, the male frogs turned gay. And could that be something that is completely, I don't know, deliberate within the powers that be that want us to be some weak bitch asses, right? Within all of the vaccines, how do we know the vaccines that your child gets, the first set of vaccines they get when they're like 4 months old?
Technics and all that, yeah.
How do we know that there isn't something within that to where all of a sudden all of our kids are starting to have these different mental, you know, complexes within? Oh, I don't know if I know I should have been a guy.
When I look down, it looks as if I should. Look, again, I'm of the same mindset where you do what you want with your body. I don't
do
care.
what you want, bro.
I don't care. But it's creeping into politics to where your taxes now have to pay for this.
Okay.
Oh, that's
quick
crazy.
question. When you were a kid, didn't you put your mom's shoes on and walk with high heels? Come on, man.
Never.
You didn't either, or am I the only one?
Never.
Oh, I only walked in my mom's shoes. What are you talking about?
Never.
High heels and walked around the house.
Never.
But you know what? That lasted only a very short time to see what kind of things she looks from her eyes. That was done and over. Some people decide to keep them on. We okay with that. Just be fair in life.
I can understand that the curiosity within just your mom's.
There are some
shoes,
people who
whatever.
are.
I
I
get
grew
that.
up with someone who was definitely like that person transitioned fully, and growing up with this person, I was like best friends with them, and from the beginning, I always believed that person was just the sex that they were not born with. And when I met up with them later on in life, I looked at him and said, that makes sense to me. It made sense to me because it really, for the entire time, right? That's not saying I'm seeing it from an individual level. Again, I will always respect someone's decision to do whatever they want with their own body. You want to chop your dingling off? Have at it.
Do it.
You want to convert your insides to an outdoor, activity? Have at it. But when it comes to protecting our children, I think that there is a line there.
There is.
When it comes to making this a normal thing where 20% of our kids feel the same way, yet 10 years ago, 0.8% of our kids felt that way. That's a problem.
Yes.
Obviously, there is something pushing this agenda. And when we see NAACP awards giving out to black parents who simply just accepted their daughter or whatever.
But here's where we had the problem, Jose.
You got to draw a line somewhere.
It infiltrated our churches also. It
All the time.
infiltrated the churches.
Yeah, it did.
And it goes hand in hand with everything else.
Yeah.
It makes it normal. And then that percentage that you were talking about, it just increases year after year after year.
Yep.
Add that to some sort of chemical imbalance that I personally believe could be conspiracy. It can be true. Whatever they're putting in these vaccines that they're saying that, the kids need for X, Y, and Z. Just even went down to the COVID shot. It alters their DNA.
Allegedly.
It changes their entire compass of what they were made to be. And I can't agree with, I just don't agree with now all of a sudden everybody's damn near gay. And this is natural. This is a natural evolution of mankind. It's impossible. To me, I don't believe
it has increased dramatically, and people will say, "Well, it's always been this way." People were just afraid to come out this way. And I can't. The numbers don't support that.
Is there? Can we look at the numbers in China?
In the rest of the world?
Yeah, can we look at the
in
numbers?
the entire rest of the world?
Because in Africa, they're not with that. They're not with that. I saw the Kenyan president. He was like, "Nope, we're going to worry about the issues."
You saw that reporter that he was asking like the lesbian. He was like, "Why are you gay?
Why are you gay?" I love Africa. I'm going back. I'm going to Africa.
So you say there's some kind of conspiracy or something happening?
I think so.
Where's transitioning this?
I think so. And when you look at other countries, especially Africa, they have been stepping up and declining more vaccinations that have been coming from the Bill Gates, Melinda Gates Foundation, and a lot of these big time pharma companies are coming in. Oh, we're going to come in and we're gonna help cure polio. They're rejecting them because, again, you look at what's going on in the United States. They're not with it. It doesn't create a strong society, and I am 100% in support of what they're doing in Africa. No gay shows on TV. None of that. I'm with it.
So see, everybody, I understand what you're saying, that we're looking at different ways of what's happening in this world. Let's go back to where I started. Prayers and what happens when really true prayers happen. I think there's a lot of possession going on within and I don't want to scare nobody. Spiritual battle going on in the airs, and we're just letting everything go. See, when things just started to show up, the Christians were quiet, but when it blew up, now they want to do something about it. And now we became the worst people in the world. That's not how it works.
Right.
I see with my own eyes when we pray for people who really want to be healed, people who want to be free from this. And some people, I counsel a lot of them. Let me tell you one thing: they're the best people to hang out with. They're good people, and not all of them are possessed. Some of them had problems when they were kids and they transitioned to do what they want. But some people are catching up, and the fastest jumping spirit on people that is going around is that spirit. And people are not seeing the spiritual part of it. Now, everybody don't believe in the spiritual. Well, guess what? When you're sleeping and something slaps you, make sure this guy don't got no wand over me.
Let's go.
Horns coming out my head. Then I get one of those cone heads coming out of my head.
That was an accurate look over.
But back to what I'm saying. I mean, people from the get-go of Earth, there's evil and there's the good stuff. There's saints, and there's a battle going on. There's a war. There's war of spiritual war. Thank you for that word. That is going on over our head. Some people don't want to believe it, but I'm gonna tell you something. All this stuff that you're seeing about zombies, this is nothing new to anybody who knows that. One of the gifts that I have is on my knees to fight for people and pray for people who are on this. It's not like the what's the one with
Poltergeist?
No, not Poltergeist. The other one,
Exorcism.
There you go, The Exorcist, where they went, she stabbing the coochie and all that kind of stuff. You know,
throwing up all over the place.
Never seen it.
None of that stuff. But I mean, it's not like the way they showed it. But that's the truth of what's going on in this world. And movies that come up actually show you these things. There's a movie that I was watching. I was praying one day now, and I fell asleep. Remember when you used to fall asleep 2 a.m, the TV would look like snow, right? So I fell asleep in my living room one day, and when I woke up, oh man, the channel's gone. So I was gonna go turn off the TV, and I saw a girl coming out the TV. I was like, what the heck was that?
Like The Ring?
Listen to this. I didn't know that movie existed. I said, what the heck was that? And, I'm a grown man, but I'm a chicken. Even though I know who got my back, but I'm still a chicken. I can't stand being in base by myself. So here it goes. I said, I did not see that. So I seen it again. I turned it off, went to the room, and what the heck was this? So what was it? It was the movie The Ring. And those, I got the vision, and I understand in the prayer that I was given the next day was that that's the way they come into the houses, watching these crazy ass movies, hanging out with the wrong people. People give you money to try to curse you. All these things really, bro. You have anybody, you too. Has anybody been sleeping before and at 2 a.m, all of a sudden you're stuck and you're trying to tell your partner, but you can't move?
Oh, yeah.
That happened to you?
Yeah, sleep paralysis for sure.
Oh, see, they give it a name. I'm going to tell you, it's a demon that jumps on you, you can't move. See, people, they give it a name. So I think that there's a spiritual battle going on. People know it, so they don't want to go to church, so they don't have to deal with it, because as long as you don't, or not go to church or have any kind of connection with God, because as long as you have that connection, it will leave you alone.
Let me ask you this.
Talk to me.
Do you think that this conversation, the homosexuality conversation, kind of puts religion in a bad place? Because
I think I think we're denigrating it to a homosexual. I think it's more of like a sexual.
Yeah, well, just within that, because from my understanding, within just the
sexual
Christian
deviancy,
faith, or not even just Christian faith. I mean, you can go into the Muslim faith.
Yeah,
I mean,
now they have it.
Yeah, right. Like it's considered a sin. It was from my understanding, I thought it was a lustful sin. It's something that's part of the things that you cannot have as a human being if you're going to have that balance with God and, with anything else. Do you find it hard to kind of find that balance between that? And if somebody that is homosexual, do you think that it's something that they need God to change, or is it it is what it is? It's God's work.
I just told you a lot of people has to do with possession. A lot of people don't. A lot of people really believe, really got talked into believing. A lot of people were sexually abused when they're young. Their parents or their mom treat them bad. They were smoking crack. Something happened where they found love in the same person, the same sex person. Because when I see gay people, homosexuals, but I see that the way they love each other's, I have no round in that, because love has no color.
But what about God, though? Do you think God, where is your view within, like, God's position within all of this?
God's position I'm gonna talk about me. I'm not gonna talk about me. About me is for prayer. All right. If God didn't change anything, why do I gotta? See, the Holy Spirit is what moves things to change. My job is to represent Christ, show the love. I mean, they brought him a woman who was sleeping with everybody. And then look, she was sleeping with everybody. And the Bible says that we have to kill her with a stone. They brought her to Jesus, and Jesus turned around, wrote something on the floor, and looked at everybody, said, all right, everybody got a rock. All right, the first one who hasn't sinned, knock her out. They all shot their rocks down and they walked away. And possibly how many of them slept with her? See, there was no judgment. He told her, if you want, you could judge her, but you got to be clean to judge. So I believe that everybody has their right to move forward, because one day it might be the testimony that they're going to preach. So God hasn't changed it. If the Holy Spirit hasn't, maybe I'm there. I know a lot of them. And they always, Carlos, I got to ask you something. Can you keep me in prayer? Sorry. Keep me in prayer on this. Keep me praying on this. You'll pray for my mom. Some people don't believe in God. The other day, one said, "Okay, God bless you." I said, "What?" see, it's about being that person to represent Christ, representing Christ. When Christ was what? Love. That's what it was all about. Jesus, they had a problem with no demons. Jesus had no problem with the sinners. You know who he had a problem with? Do you? You know?
I do.
Who?
The ones who were in religion.
The church. When he went to the church,
Pharisees and the Sadducees.
he had no problem with nobody else. He was chilling with them. And he loved to cook outside.
That's where you could find them, was with the sinners.
With the sinners. So here we go. He went to the church.
Between me and Austin, that the jury's still out on that.
the Bible only talks about once.
You see what I got to deal with here?
Hold on.
These heresies here. These heathens.
Be nice. Be honest. I'm not going to get cut off because I said Jesus, right?
No, you're good.
Are you kidding me?
You can still say Jesus.
I want to make sure.
You can say Jesus.
I've seen it on
We're still
CNN
good.
a few times that they cut them out. They was cut.
You good.
Wrong podcast. Wrong podcast.
So he went to a church. The Bible talks about Jesus losing his cool once. Just went off and started throwing stuff and yelling. And that was when he visited the church. If he came today, what would he do? See, we have to know that we're not the holy. We're holy. We're not the holy one. We're out here to represent, to show love to people. I show the love. And there's tons of pastors who's love with people. I'm telling you, I can name you a whole bunch. For any kind of change, for people who are going through a lot of things, because if I thought I was a woman, you can't take that from me. Let me be a woman. But eventually, one day, I have to face the facts. And it's probably going to be my deathbed. All right?
Or when you try to have a baby.
Oh, when I try to have a baby, that's not going to happen. And don't think it won't happen. I mean, they
are doing butt babies now.
Woo!
What?
Yeah, butt babies.
What is that?
It's for the gentlemen out there who wish to procreate. They can insert
Where you
it.
get this stuff from?
I watch way too much TikTok.
That's not true.
Absolutely. Google
That
it.
is not
Google
true.
it.
Google
Google
it.
it.
It's impossible.
Google it.
Okay, I'll Google
Butt
it, but it's
baby.
impossible.
It is
Google
impossible.
butt baby.
There's
not a womb.
Artificially
there's not a
inseminating.
womb.
It's not a womb.
They're artificially inseminating
That-
outside of the
That
in a
literally
synthetic
it's
destroys
impossible.
the argument.
How did I
in a
get to
synthetic
this?
womb.
It's not a womb.
You can preach about this on your next sermon. The
That's-
butt baby
That's
is
not
going to be
real.
a thing.
You can't believe what you
the
see on
man is
TikTok,
going to
Jose.
crap out a baby.
But at the
Vicky,
end-
watch, look it up. Butt baby. I promise you, it's for the gentlemen out
Butt
there
baby.
who wish to
the
have a baby.
key to this life is
Go
to
ahead,
be
Google it.
nice one to another.
I don't want that in my
Not
search
nice.
history.
Not nice.
You got to be.
Not nice. Hold
I
on.
don't
No,
need
no.
yourself. You got to be yourself.
No,
Now, if somebody's
love.
an ass,
Love does not mean
but
nice.
if somebody's an ass, let them be an ass. You be yourself.
But at some point, loving somebody says you have to stand up for what is true.
You got to know when, but don't do
Right.
it because it's something good for you. It's something good to be true to people. They need to know this.
But at some point, you have to stand up for what is right. And sometimes that is love. When you can sit there and say, look, you're fucking up and you need to stop that. I love you. So therefore, I need
That's
you to
different.
Yeah.
But that's where it shows up. But you got to be, there has to be how people get close to you, Jose. A lot of people hate us, hate your style, love your style, hate your style certain ways. And we're not here to make everybody happy.
No.
But you got to be yourself and be honest and be true.
Right.
When you show that you're a lovable person and people do get closer. I want to knock Trump out because he couldn't shut his mouth. But on the other hand, I love the guy. He hooked me up.
He hooked a lot of
He
people.
hooked me up. And they never gave him a chance to be a president.
not at all the entire time.
But
It is Arnold Schwarzenegger's fault.
It is. It's not a
You think so?
tumor.
Not
It's not
kindergarten.
a tumor.
It's a kindergarten
See-
cop. Boys have penises, girls have vaginas.
You guys don't even, people talk about Trump, but Trump's purpose was completed. Does anybody even know why was he there?
Oh,
was
he
there
was
for a
there to
reason.
be the. He was there to be the.
I think there weren't enough people involved in politics until Trump came along. Now everybody is
Oh,
involved
my
with
gosh.
politics. Everybody. I
We
can't
need
have
a
a single
villain.
conversation
need
without
a
it
villain.
turning into. I went and got my fingerprints taken for I forget what it was for.
30 seconds I need. That's it. I need 30 seconds of your time.
Go ahead.
There's a prophecy in the Bible where Jesus was going to walk back through the doors of Jerusalem.
Okay.
All right. When they were destroyed, all the Jews had to leave. Muslims, they covered the door, the east end door where Jesus is going to go through with a lot of concrete, and they put a cemetery, which is not a no-no for Jews or Hebrews.
Okay.
All right. So every president, in order for Jesus to come back, the first thing has to do, they have to return to Jerusalem. Every president since I was a kid was saying, I'm going to take the capital back to Jerusalem. I'm going to put the capital back in Jerusalem. Nobody did it. All the politics said it. Nobody done it. God had to pick one guy that had nothing to do with politics. And the first thing he did was moved it. Right after that, God finished with him.
Yeah.
Remember that. It was a prophecy and it's completed. But
one of the prophecies, because the other one was peace.
Yes. So in this world, if you look at it again, it's all about the war in over there.
Ukraine.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Yeah. That's,
So
that,
let's not forget about what it cost to get that the homeland of Jerusalem, the capital of Jerusalem back. The poor Palestinian people that got stepped on within the process.
You know who got stepped on to get it?
the Jews.
So it happened before, just it happened backwards.
Yeah. But from what I understand, with the
Are
Jewish
you supporting the Palestinians?
absolutely.
You know who else supports them?
I do.
Who?
Oh no, who else support that Palestine? Well, a lot of the Orthodox Jews also.
BLM.
Well,
the lesbian BLM.
no, that's good for them. That's good for them. The reason why, though, from my understanding from listening to other rabbis, is that the Jewish religion, they're just a religion. They don't have a homeland. Their job is to protect the religion.
Yeah,
Their
but the
job is to
rabbis
protect the
also don't
Bible.
believe in Jesus.
But there's a
that's
still
again,
a
that's the
prophecy.
conflict
So I can
within.
only take
That's
their-
the conflict between the religious folks of Christian faith versus
It's still a
it's like-
prophecy.
yeah, but it's like the Jets versus the Bills, right? You got your team, you got everybody's got a team.
Let's use
Yeah,
somebody like
sure.
Jaguars. They had a better
Sure.
chance.
You know what I mean? You guys, your quarterback is Jesus. Their quarterback is what is it, Muhammad?
Also, you're with him on here. You could go on that side. Listen,
I will say I'm a little bit more spiritual than Austin, but I totally understand where Austin is coming from with the conflicts of religion. There are some problems within each religion.
You just
that's
don't.
a good man. Right now, he has put aside whatever he has to think about me just to make this happen. We're working together.
I don't think it's
By the
that
way,
bad.
I was gonna say I have no problem with you. By the
Yeah,
way,
it's not that bad.
listen. Just
I don't
because
know.
we
I don't think he's the devil worshiper.
No,
I'm
he's
not a
not.
devil
He's
worshiper.
not.
I'm an atheist. Just putting that out there.
He
but
only sacrifices children. That's all.
no, allegedly. Anyway, no. But listen, man. Just because I don't necessarily agree with everything you say,
I'm working on it.
I have no problem
I'm working
with
on
you
it.
saying it, and you seem like a reasonable dude. So, by all means.
And I appreciate, though, Austin's ability to, present an argument towards a lot of the things with him, because he read it and understood. I just, I go with the flow, I figure it out. And I say,
Only so much time to figure it out.
I ask questions because, again, I'm a free agent.
So we worked it out. We worked together to make this happen.
Yeah, he's a Jesus believer.
We worked together. That's what I'm saying. That's what
I won't go that far.
That's what we need to make the city work. Have the ability to sit back and work together to make something happen.
Right.
Absolutely.
But just like you were saying, though, before, there's too many front runners out there that's out for the selfish reasons. They're out there for the bling. They're out there for the cameras. They're out there for the, the recognition. It's not about that. You are not a servant at that point.
And also keep in mind that Jesus came to pretty much kill the religion, number one. So religion is not really part of Jesus's whole thing. Jesus' whole thing was breaking that barrier between you, Holy Spirit, and God. That's it. He died for your sins. So therefore, he killed that barrier. You now have the Holy Spirit of God inside of you. So there is nothing between you and God. I do this, but in reality, it's here. There's nothing between you and God internally inside of you. God is inside of you right now, whether you believe it or not. He's there. He is there. It's whether you choose to believe. And therefore, you're going to find out what your true reality in life is when you find out that, look, I have God inside me. So therefore, I am a God, right?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of said, I am a God.
I can go with that.
And that barrier that's no longer there creates inside of you being the creator of your own reality. Therefore, you can create your own reality. You can be that person. There is no other religion that gives you that.
Well, you got to be who you are.
But who you are is God personified,
You got to be who you are.
just
That's
in
what
your
I'm saying.
own different way.
So I can't change nobody. That's why I say I can work with anybody, just like good people can work with me.
I can tell that. I can definitely tell that.
See, this is not going to be my brother from now on.
Yeah, you guys gonna be
tell him,
over on
If
Clinton.
I ever,
There
if
you
I,
go,
if
right.
I ever play golf
Listen.
with him and I'm in the same car, I'm taking a
Yo,
bottle of holy water with me.
Pops here he can golf. Let me
Listen,
tell you.
Austin's
something.
gonna drink it like, yeah, see, didn't work.
Exactly. You know, that's
Didn't burn me.
But hey,
That's
as long
fine.
as we have a good time playing golf, it's fine.
Hey,
One of my favorite verses was when Christ actually died on the cross and the storm came and everything like that. And the no, that's scientific fact. It's there. It's in the freaking history books. You can look it up that Christ died.
It's
on the
in
cross.
one book.
History.
You can call it history book if you want.
Anyways, the tombs opened up and dead people walked the earth. There were actual dead people who walked the earth and were zombies just straight up walking into Jerusalem like it was nothing. That's one of my favorite verses because no one can talk about that because there is no answer to that. There's no reasoning behind that. That's just crazy talk. But when Jesus died, people who were dead came out of their burial ground.
zombies, huh?
Zombies.
They were just drunk from the wine. Drunk from the wine.
See the heathens I got to deal with here?
They were
Pray
all,
for me, Pops.
They
Pray
were
for
all
me.
at the
We
Last
got
Supper
this.
too.
Yeah.
They had one too many cups of the blood.
I'm gonna end this podcast on. I'm gonna pick one of these two things. First of all,
That is true, Jen. It is a good book to read because there is a lot of things within the Bible. I agree. I need to read the
but
Bible.
rightly dividing the word of God. The Old Testament is for the Jews. It's very good for you to learn from it. But the New Testament, even that, my own religion, even that is not made for Gentiles. It is a history of Jesus's life on earth. Paul is the only one who is sent to us as Gentiles. He is the one who writes letters with the secrets of what Jesus brought to us Gentiles, us who are not Jewish people.
Right, son. I'll tell you, the Bible's a book that has news, it has movies, it's an action, it has
crazy
love
stuff in there.
story.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It has. I mean, there's a one of the chapters in Proverbs. I mean, is it Proverbs or Songs? It's like reading a porn book.
Proverbs.
Yeah, it's Proverbs.
Yep.
He laughing over there. So,
I'm sorry, Songs of Solomon. Songs of Solomon.
That's the only thing he liked.
Songs of Solomon.
That's the only thing he liked that I said. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
So,
It was the hills that looked like boobs.
Yeah.
do you know that I found out the other day that the names for hurricanes, it's written in the Bible. They got names on there. So there's a lot of things you can find out. There has
El Nino is in the Bible.
Hollywood is
No,
used.
not El Nino,
Hollywood has
but
used the
got-
Bible extensively.
but it's a good book to read. It doesn't matter. I mean, you don't think something's gonna come out your head or nothing like that, but it's a good book.
Watch The Chosen on Netflix. It is an amazing, amazing
Very
show.
good. Very good.
And it does not go into like the, how do I say, it talks about biblical stories, but it puts it in a way that someone like Austin could actually take it in.
Yeah,
It
I
happens.
watched Chosen with him, and I mean, and then he could watch Wednesday with me.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
What you think?
Yeah.
Popcorn and
Wednesday.
Just go and hang out, watch Netflix with your father-in-law.
You're gonna Netflix and chill with my father-in-law. Wuhan lab leak.
Okay.
Let's see what Fauci had to say about the Wuhan lab leak.
Oh,
Remember,
he made a statement?
yeah, he
It
did.
came out of his hole?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it was a lie.
So this was the history of the Wuhan lab leak. If you look back in time, if you actually Google the term Wuhan lab leak conspiracy theory, it only goes back a certain amount of time. It does not go back to 2020, mind you. Like, Google it yourself.
Right.
Don't take my word for it. It will not give you a single article from 2020. What it will give you is a bunch of articles from 2021 and 2022
DuckDuckGo.
that it refused to show you before. Now that they've come out with some more information, which we're going to go into in a second, now they actually came out with the information. But back in 2021, May 20, 2021, Forbes had an article that says, no, science clearly shows that COVID-19 wasn't leaked from a Wuhan lab. The next article that's to the right of that, it's named Tom Cotton keeps repeating a coronavirus fringe theory that scientists have disputed. This is February 17th, 2020. This was the oldest article I could find. Oldest article I could find, February 17th, 2020, about it being disputed and that it's a fringe theory. And if you look in that article, in that red highlighted version, it actually has a correction in there. The only article I could find that had a correction in it. Earlier versions of this story and its headline inaccurately characterized comments by Senator Tom Cotton, who's a Republican from Arkansas, regarding the origins of the coronavirus. The term debunked and the post's use of conspiracy theory have been removed because then, as now, there was no determination about the origins of the virus. Fast forward to today. We have this man who came out of freaking retirement to talk about Fauci says we may never know origin of COVID despite lab leak report. Again, we're seeing a lot of news today that we were not allowed to see before, which kind of gets me freaked out about it, because if they're talking about it, that means that there's something else that they may be hiding. But the article from the Wall Street Journal states lab leak most likely origin of COVID-19 pandemic. The entire time, the FBI said as well, the entire time they said you're a conspiracy theorist. The entire this time they blocked you from YouTube, they blocked you from freaking Twitter, they blocked you from Facebook. If you even discussed this at all, they blocked you and said, no, you're not allowed to talk about it. And now, as usual, the truth comes out after they've already censored years of it. And I swear to you, if you go back and you Google search Wuhan lab leak conspiracy theory, you're going to see a ton of articles that talk about that exact thing in a positive light, saying this may have happened. This may be the cause. This may be articles you would never have seen in the past, because now they said, oh man, we messed up, and they released all the articles.
Yeah.
So that's our daily COVID update.
I
didn't want to spend too much time on it because we spent a lot of time on it last week.
I know that back in 2020,
I refuse to thank Elon.
There were actual attorneys that I knew that were ready to take on wrongful death cases over COVID back then. And I'm talking about high level attorneys like down in New York City. They were like, yo, just give us the word and we will look into a wrongful death lawsuit over COVID, because just there were so many things that were just like wrong about just when COVID ran out and was rolled out. And that start right there, that was one of the first conspiracy theories that really wasn't a theory, it was fact.
You're telling me that a lab that was dedicated towards, messing with DNA of different types of viruses, and it just so happened to be the epicenter of the first COVID case, and you're gonna tell me that it didn't leak from that lab that was the epicenter of the first it was just stupid.
And the NIH,
it was just stupid. If you still believe, if
into it too,
look, there's so many stupid people out there. I'm sorry, people who just refuse to believe in the actual truth of what was happening the entire time. They're coming out with it now. You can't dispute it. And Anne-Marie,
so what's the truth? What's the truth?
The truth is
they lied.
They lied. Period. Point blank. And they already came out with Pfizer. Pfizer is doing studies on creating a new coronavirus so they can come out with a new COVID vaccine. I don't even have to click on allegedly, because Project Veritas provided the video from the guy that worked at Pfizer, who worked on that exact thing. He said it, that they're working on this stuff, that they're doing it, that it's along the same lines of geared. They're doing it in a way that they're creating a new virus so that they can create the vaccine for that virus. And man, they jumped on that real quick. They're trying to disband freaking Project Veritas. FBI is on them, everything.
Do you have faith within the common citizen?
Nothing.
Do you have faith within the common citizen to not allow the lockdowns to happen again?
No.
You think they'll just comply? So
Elon, this was Anne-Marie. She said that we can thank Elon. I just don't trust Elon. I don't trust him. As many people that believes in Elon providing a lot more information regarding the information that he refused, or that Twitter refused to let out. Elon's now putting it out there. I get it that he's allowing more freedom of speech, but there are still people who are being banned from Twitter because of their free speech.
Well-
i.e., Kanye West.
Andre just said that even DuckDuckGo got compromised because
Yeah.
they're restricting stuff from Ukraine war.
Yep.
Which, I mean, that war was. I thought that was.
And
big
Elon
from the
Musk is
beginning.
the only thing he cares about is data. The only thing he
Oh yeah,
wants
that's
is
what he. Oh
the
my
data
gosh.
so that he can connect your brain
my
to a
gosh.
computer and then connect it to the freaking
that Twitter
space.
was a good play.
Yeah, it was 100% play. All he wanted was data. 8:56. I told my father-in-law that we'd be like an hour and a half, and every single time
Why
it
even
always
think
turns into 2 hours.
Man, go with the flow.
Right, but you
Okay,
know he was right in.
Yeah,
Right
I
in.
appreciate you coming
Sitting in.
on. He
Hey.
jumped in. He jumped in when
It's a good show, pops. Come again.
Yeah, anytime.
when he had
Thank
work
you
to do.
guys.
So I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate the daughters that you raised because I married one of them, and I have the best sister-in-law that anyone can ask for.
I met them
Tasha is
both. I met
amazing.
both of you are very good people.
You did a very good job. As much as they can complain about how you know,
Competitors too, though. Yo, when we went bowling, sheesh. I was like, dang, good thing I'm better than all y'all. I would never heard the end of it.
They play baseball.
Oh yeah,
Softball.
Yep. So
Softball. My oldest one was a tough one, and my youngest one was the one in the field checking our name.
yeah, I kind of picked that was Edna.
And that was my that's my diva.
Yep. I kind of figured that one out.
oh, she's my diva now.
Yeah. But I know the oldest daughter, she's like, yeah, she's about that action. She's played catcher, right?
Yep, that was her. That
Mhm.
was
I
her.
was like, yeah, you look thugged out. They're ready to,
Spit it in there. Come on, bring it up the middle.
don't charge the plate. She ain't moving.
She ain't moving. That
She
girl,
ain't
she's
moving.
she's a truck. You're not gonna move her. So I appreciate how you raised them. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you.
And being very open with your thoughts on everything. So thank you so much for coming on. Throughout your time when you're out there, preaching to everybody and talking about the word of God, and also, converting people with love. If you ever come across Kanye West or John Leguizamo,
You said your father-in-law's a
Same.
gem. Give him
a
his-
gem.
Yep. Put
Father-in-law's a gem.
put that on. But yeah, he's a gem. I agree.
There you go. You're a gem.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Wish I can say. All I can say is thank you to you guys. Thank you for the opportunity. I'd be sleeping by now. I work at 3:30.
Oh, whew.
At 3:40 in the morning, I'm already taking American Airlines out to the airport. So, but I want to thank all you guys,
Ooh.
Austin, and all. It was amazing. It was amazing time, and I hope that anybody that was listening to us understand that it's about being real, truth, and honest to other people. And when it's time to speak the truth, stand up for yourself. That's who we are. That's how we got to be. It's better living a free life, being honest and saying the truth. Living a good life than taking a picture and showing what's fake.
Ooh. BBLs.
And Austin, thank you. Thank you, Austin.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on, man. That was
I
a
know
good
he
show.
does.
Yes.
I know he makes barbecue. I could tell.
I'm making mean brisket.
Ooh, I could go for
Yeah,
some.
Oh, dude.
Austin, while you're at it, play that funky music.
Gonna take a
Thank
lot
you, everybody.
to take me away from you.
Oh my God.
That funky music?
No, not that. Please no.
No more. I can ever do.
Hate that freaking song.